Young Pharaoh, I remember when your name was Young Pharaoh Allah. And I remember when you were on Sinetta with the brother Mastermind Allah. He was dropping some deep, heavy science. And I guess you were supposed to get with the brother, but uh, you start agreeing with him. After you heard him dropping all that deep science, you was up there, that's the same thing I think. And so I don't know if y'all was supposed to debate one another, whatever, but anyway, you got you came in alignment with what he was talking about. Your name was Young Pharaoh Allah. Since then, you done dropped the Allah and changed your name to last name to Atten, uh, because the United States is at war with Islam. See, and they the money system in Islam is they don't charge you no interest. See, the interest comes from the Jews. They charge interest, and the gangsters. See, the Italians and the Jews, man, they cousins. They both are gangsters, mafia. And it's in the Bible that uh, Jesus told the Jews, and plus they tried to kill him. Who tried to kill Jesus in the Bible? The Italians and the Jews. That's talking about us. If you don't know, Jesus represents the black man. Here you is, young Pharaoh, aligning yourself up straight up with the devil, man, with your arch enemy, and because you're a sellout, you know. Let me read something, man, from this book right here. The Arabians brought to Europe not only poetry, but astronomy and mathematics science. They gave Europe the 9 digits. The Arabian figured to 10 in algebra. The oldest mathematical book, 1700 BC, contains some problems similar to algebra. The book was written by the Ethiopian Archimedes. We find a little of the study among the Greeks, but the Arabians brought it up to an importance of a science. And on another part, it says the inventions of probang, a valuable surgical instrument. To them must be credited the lancet and the couching needle. The Arabians were the first to develop chemistry, and they first prepared prescriptions for the mixing of drugs. In the great city of Baghdad, Cairo, Cordova, centuries before Europe could boast of anything beyond cathedral and monistic schools, great Arabian universities were drawing together vast throngs of eager young Arabians and creating an atmosphere of learning and refinement. Now these were brothers, man. These was black people. I made a mistake too. I gotta correct myself. I said that you was charging Elijah with pedophiling some young. I made a mistake and said FOI sisters. No, it wasn't FOI. FOI is the male the military branch of the Nation of Islam. I'm talking about the Muslim girl training program. They say these were secretaries though, and I just want to correct myself on that. Now, getting back to you, young brother. Now, this sister right here wrote this book. This is a 1926 copyright. Wonderful Ethiopians of the Ancient Kushite Empire, copyright 1926, Drusilla Dungy Houston. Drusilla Dungy Houston, 1876 to 1941, daughter of John Williams and Linda Taylor. Dungy was a teacher, journalist, self-trained historian, and by any standard, a remarkable woman. Now, she was, I ain't gonna get into all that right now. Now, you also said something about ain't no Indians wearing the headdress of, it was a lot of Indians that wore turbans. Indian different tribes wore turbans. They had pyramids, man. There's a lot of Indians had pyramids. When you look at some of the ancient pictures, like on this guy right here, they had feathers. Some of the Egyptians had feathers. Was dealing with feathers, and so did some of the Indians. That's where the Indians got the feathers from. Their teepees are shaped like little pyramids. The Seminoles, they wore turbans. The Seminoles was a nation of Indians that never was conquered. Up in them Everglades, man, back up in them Everglades, they never was conquered, I can't think of all the Indians that wore headdresses, turbans, and they had different dress. When all of them wasn't dressed, all tribes wasn't alike. Some tribes was different, a whole lot of tribes. But they were not tribes, though. They were nations. Each nation had their own name for themselves. The Caucasian call them Indians, and they are Indians from India. You should read some of the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So, brother, you all off, man. You call yourself a scholar, but you don't read no black. You don't read what the brothers be running. Wait, hold up. This is Sheikh right here. Sheikh Diop, Anta Diop. In this book, he said, the name of this book is The African Origins of Civilization. You read that, man? In this book, he says, could Egyptian civilization be an Asian origin? That word Asia was the name of the whole planet at one time. No, the white man don't know nothing about what I'm talking about, man. Another thing about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the only leader that taught how to eat to live. Told people about that trichiny worm, man, about the pig. Didn't know black people deal talk like that before he did. Uh, you know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a bank. That's why I say you got chump change, man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had banks. I mean, it wasn't just him. The Nation of Islam had banks. They had farms. They had airplanes. They had boats. They had uh, apartment buildings. They owned apartment buildings. They owned did I say airplanes, boats, uh, farms, apartment buildings, clothing stores, cleaners, uh, restaurants, bakeries, bakeries. Uh, so they wasn't they and all these people, I mean, they employ Christians, they employ atheists, wineheads, straighten them up. They went to jail. Look how many brothers they done straightened up out of jail that became very wealthy, man. Look how many entertainers. Look at Muhammad Ali, man. You at the status of Muhammad Ali, you're a millionaire. If you at Muhammad Ali was his level, you know, and then we gonna get into Malcolm too, man. You know, in a couple of videos, we gonna talk about what you know about Malcolm, man. I mean, really know, and not what the devil tell you. It's a black light.